Thank you for joining us today as we give tribute to one of our community's fallen heroes, but also celebrate the life and the legacy of Sergeant Joe Bergeron. It's been 11 years since that fateful day when Joe was taken from us, and yet his family, our department, and our community continue to mourn his senseless and tragic death. For those who may not have had the opportunity to know Joe Bergeron, he was born and raised in White Bear Lake. As a young man, he enjoyed hunting and the outdoors. Joe served as a police officer for the city of Maplewood starting in 1984 and also served as an investigator as well as a police paramedic prior to being promoted to the position of police sergeant. From the moment I came to Maplewood 4 years ago, it was clear that Joe was a community hero who left us with a legacy of what it truly means to be a public servant. What is important for many of us to remember is not only solemnly Joe's dedication and that he made the ultimate sacrifice, but we also remember who he was, what he believed in, and what he stood for. In my conversations with police staff and community members and those who knew him, Sergeant Joseph Bergeron was the epitome of a community servant. A person who believed in serving others and in contributing to a cause that was greater than himself. Next, I would like to introduce Kathy Juneman, our city council member, long-serving city council member, and friend of Joe Bergeron and his family. Kathy.
It is my pleasure to be mayor today, most because of what today signifies. Being mayor isn't a big deal to me. Being able to speak as mayor today is. 11 years ago, those of you who have a memory of this was one of the saddest, darkest days for Maplewood and a lot of people who knew Joe Bergeron. As the chief said, it was unnecessary, but Joe gave his life for all of us. And I do think that it's an odd way for us to learn a lesson. But I do believe part of the lesson is you remember important people for a long time and you treasure the people who are with you now. You don't want to lose the appreciation of who people are and what they do. I know it was the ultimate loss for Gail and the daughters, for his parents and siblings, for his fellow officers, and certainly for us as a community. It was the greatest sacrifice a family could be asked to make, and I'm sure the greatest loss a police department can ever experience. Luckily for us, we have many good memories of Joe, his life and his career to keep us going. He loved his family. That would be the Queen and the princesses. See, I have been here a long time. His job, you could tell he loved it, and his department. He was a dedicated, all-around good cop. On patrol, as a medic and a medic trainer, and as a sergeant. As a resident and later an elected official, I have always admired his ability to relate to all people, all kinds of people. I liked his positive spirit, his desire to help and serve, his sense of humor, which is almost matchless, and his belief that we can make this work together. If you knew or worked with Joe, you were very lucky. I feel myself very lucky to have known him. And even if you didn't have that chance, you have suffered the loss. He was an incredible spirit in this department, and the fact that everyone is here speaks to that. We are still missing him, but we remember him always. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Juneman. I know that Kathy speaks from the heart and that she, as well as so many of us, truly miss Joe and all that he was to us. Next will be guest speaker Ashley Bergeron, our own Ashley Bergeron, niece of Joe Bergeron and a proud member of the Maplewood Police Department.
Thank you, Chief. I didn't prepare a speech or anything today, and I was told to talk from my heart, so I'll be nice and sweet for you guys. I know that today is not an easy day for family, friends, officers, because every year we relive everything that happened 11 years ago. But I know that it's an important day, and it's important that we remember him. And I know that we remember him not just today, but every single day that he's been gone. I just want to thank all of you guys for coming today. I know that it's not easy, but you all took time out of your day to come here today, and I can say that as a department, we greatly appreciate you guys showing your support as well. It hasn't been an easy year for policing, and it hasn't been an easy year and a half for your families, but I appreciate that each and every one of you guys showed up today to show your support. Thank you.
Next, we will ask Mike Shortreed, who continues to coordinate this event year after year and does a hell of a job, if I might say, to step forward and read the Law Enforcement Memorial Prayer.
Dear Lord, law enforcement is not an easy task to do, yet there are many who choose to wear the shield. They serve each day to the oaths they swore are true, protecting and serving a safer, better world to build. Lord, now we gather to pay our deepest honor to those of our officers killed in the line of duty. It matters not the style of shield they wore, only that they served with pride and honor. Lord, all that matters is that they were one of us, serving wherever needed, richest mansion to dirtiest alley. Confident and proud, highly honored by the people's trust, so they carried a shield, mindful of all of their sacred duties. Lord, you have called several of ours home to glory. The race with life for them is now done. Peace, blessed peace, in safety, forever now with thee. Welcome rest, now in heaven for all of eternity. May time never erase the sacrifices that were made. May no officer ever fall alone to lie cold in their grave. May those of us still serving remember well the price they paid. May their memories stand forever as those who went down brave. Lord, give us courage to carry on, to still live and care, to not be vengeful or bitter, to simply trust your word it true. May we always cover with pride the shield we wear, to honor all fallen officers whom we now commend to you.
In keeping with Joe's spirit of service, we've created the Sergeant Joseph Bergeron Community Service Award. This award was created in collaboration with the Bergeron family to honor his legacy through the community service that he provided throughout his career. The Bergeron family also assisted in the judging of the applications that have come into the city. In addition to honoring Sergeant Bergeron's legacy, it gives us an opportunity to recognize those in our community whose actions exemplify selfless community service. This award will be reserved for a member of Maplewood Public Safety and to another city department, community partner, stakeholder, or citizen. This award may be given to a person who has provided a significant contribution or several smaller contributions in the area of community policing or service to our community. This person will have an above-average relationship with the community. The recipient will be service-oriented with a willingness to go above and beyond while considering no task too great or trivial to tackle. He or she will demonstrate an above-average dedication to their role, project, or partnership while showing a commitment to improving the Maplewood community. The recipient will be known for his or her positive attitude and demonstration of the community policing philosophy through both words and action. The Sergeant Joe Bergeron Community Service Award will consist of a certificate of recognition and a uniform bar for sworn personnel or a lapel pin for non-sworn award members. A Sergeant Joe Bergeron Community Service Award plaque will be posted in City Hall, and the name of the annual award winners will be added to the plaque. With COVID and the precautions of last year, we are actually presenting both the 2020 and 2021 awards this year. First, we will present the 2020 awards, and the recipients are Barb Johnson and Paul Bartz. If you could please come up. Just so that everybody's on the same page here. They didn't actually know they were getting an award today because Commander Shortreed likes to do it as a surprise. So if they look a little surprised, that's why. We're going to start with Barb Johnson. Barb Johnson has been an employee of the Maplewood YMCA for many years and interacts with community members on a daily basis. Through these interactions, Barb takes note of what is needed to make Maplewood a stronger community. Barb also volunteers her time to help coordinate multiple efforts that benefit the community. Barb helped bring the Coffee with a Cop events to the YMCA's senior-aged members. She served as a liaison for National Running Day, assisted with the Special Olympics golf tournaments and law enforcement torch run events, and is currently volunteers as a member of our Police Multicultural Advisory Committee. Barb has coordinated the YMCA's Community Day and represented the Y at multiple large-scale multicultural events in 2019, assisting the police and fire departments in Maplewood. Barb's caring and positive disposition has made her a valuable asset to the Maplewood community. We are honored to present Barb with the 2020 Sergeant Joe Bergeron Community Service Award. Retired Sergeant Paul Bartz. During his 23-year career with the Maplewood Police Department, Paul Bartz epitomized and modeled the commitment to service and the community policing philosophy that this very award recognizes. Paul was fortunate to have Joe Bergeron as one of his field training officers when he started his career in Maplewood, and as a result, he was able to learn early on what the value of community service was and the impact that it had on the Maplewood community. Throughout his career, Paul was diligent with conducting follow-up investigations in order to help victims reach a conclusion to their case regardless of the severity of their crime. He would help people in any way that he could and always asked others if there was anything that he could do for them. Paul showed the same level of compassion to everyone that he knew and met. In the last few months before retirement, in August of 2019, Paul became the key partner in organizing 5 large-scale community outreach events at multiple diverse multifamily housing communities. Paul brought together multiple internal departments in the city as well as outside agencies and resources to attend these events. At each one, food was served, games were played, and meaningful connections were made. As a result of this success, Paul's outreach efforts became a model template for Maplewood Police and Fire to replicate future events. Paul raised the bar for his focused efforts on multifamily housing, community outreach, and problem-solving efforts. We are honored to award retired Sergeant Paul Bartz the 2020 Joseph Bergeron Community Service Award. Thank you, Paul. Now we're going to move on to the 2021 Bergeron Community Service Award winners. They are Gina Kuchenmeister and Steve Lukin, if you could please come up. Surprise. Gina Kuchenmeister has been a city employee for 4 years and currently works in our community development department. When the pandemic began and face masks were difficult to come by, Gina took it upon herself to make many of them for the members of the Maplewood Police Department, including many with the department's patch displayed on them. Gina volunteered many hours of her free time and her own money to ensure that masks were available to all. She did this while also having to juggle the responsibilities of 3 sons who were studying at home due to the pandemic. When the city initiated a school-based Big Brothers Big Sisters program in collaboration with Weaver Elementary in 2019, Gina quickly signed on and became a big sister to her little sister, Phoebe. In addition, Gina is actively involved in the Boy Scouts of America with her family and helps to organize local events and awards. Gina's thoughtful initiative was greatly appreciated by all in the police department and helps to make sure that our community members and police officers remain safe. We are honored to present Gina with the 2021 Sergeant Joe Bergeron Community Service Award. Finally, this is a very familiar face to everybody in the crowd, I'm sure. Retired Fire Chief Steve Lukin. During his 43-year career with the Maplewood Fire Department, Steve Lukin embodied the fire department's mission, service before self. Steve was a key player in the department's evolution from a volunteer department to paid on call, to the hiring of the department's first full-time firefighter paramedics, to the fully professional department that now protects the citizens and property of Maplewood. Hundreds of firefighters, including those from neighboring departments, learned to trust the voice of Chief Lukin when responding to calls. Throughout his career, Steve's service to the city went beyond fire and EMS response, as he was responsible for incredible outreach that his department had with the community through thousands of public education events, including annual visits to K-12 schools, summer celebrations with residents throughout the city, and hundreds of birthday drive-by for residents during the pandemic. When Steve retired in December of 2020, there was a significant loss felt by the city and the community. We are honored to present Steve with the 2021 Bergeron Community Service Award for his unmistakably massive and positive impact on the Maplewood community. Please join me in thanking all of these deserving recipients of the award for their dedication to serving the Maplewood community. I look forward to honoring Sergeant Bergeron's important legacy in the years to come through this very important award. In closing, I'd like to thank all of you who have continued to come together and keep Sergeant Bergeron and his memory alive. As you go about your day, in what is to be the most beautiful day of the year, I ask that you keep Joe in your thoughts today and in the days that follow. I also ask that you keep our police officers, firefighters, and first responders in your thoughts and prayers. Remember, these men and women represent the very finest of our society, and despite the narrative that's currently going on in policing, remember that these are the good guys and gals. Thank you again for coming. Have a great rest of the weekend, and keep Joe's memory alive. Thank you.